All right, by show of hands, how many people have a remote control to life? Give me a show of hands. If you have one of these, an iPhone or an Android device in your pocket, raise your hand for me. Okay, right? Everyone has one of those, right, which is a remote control to life, and it drives what we refer to as the non-premise. Right? So the first question is, what is non-premise? Everybody in this room knows on-premise bar, off-premise liquor store. So what is the non-premise? The non-premise is every single doorknob that is not a bar or a liquor store. So let's play, if you'll Q&A with me one more time, just give me a guess. If 100% equals every door in the New York City area, right? All 5 boroughs, including Staten Island, right? What percentage of doors are not a bar or liquor store? Just in the audience, give me a guess.
95.
Very good, 95. Can I get one more guess? Anybody else want to take a shot? 85. The answer is 98% of doors are not a bar or a liquor store, right? But yet we all have one of these, your remote control to life. And it gets me everything, right? It gets me somebody's car, Uber, somebody's house, Airbnb, my clothes, Rent the Runway, right? What we've done is invented a legal distribution channel called the non-premise that brings the bottle of alcohol to the unlicensed door, right? And that is really what we're here to talk about today is why does the consumer care, right? And what are the opportunities in the future? Right? So the first thing to think about when you start thinking about non-premise, right, e-commerce, the legal distribution to an unlicensed front door, is that you still have 3 major demographics and they're going to use that opportunity in a different way. The boomers want things. That's what they invest their time and their money in. They bought a Mercedes and they put it in their driveway and it said something to their neighbor. I'm not saying it said something nice or not nice, but that is what they invested their time and money in. So when you think about them in the e-commerce alcohol world, they're going to look for gifting primarily, right? The millennial invests his and her time and money in experiences, right? So the vodka soda no longer looks cool because the real them lives on a social media platform. So you need to think about how are you serving them an experience, right? A fully curated cocktail, the right bar tools, the right information, the story behind the brand is what they're interested in because that is going to give them bragging rights inside where they actually live, which is TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Right? Gen Z is going to be sort of a little bit of a hybrid. They're going to want an experience, but they're only going to want to invest their time and money in an experience that's associated to a cause that they support. So if you're a bourbon brand, right, and you support the replanting of oak trees so that you have a barrel 20 years from now, that is something you've got to communicate in an e-commerce format because they will only spend their time and money. They'll spend 20% more than the boomers if they believe it associates to the cause that they're in. So when you're thinking about e-commerce and the legal distribution to non-premise, an unlicensed front door, think about which generation you're targeting and what they really relate to, right? Where has the alcohol marketplace been? They were built for him, right? When you look at what was going on and what some of these retailers were built for, they were literally built in an era that was to service a specific demographic that is not the demographic that controls 85% of the spending power in America's household today, right? We refer to her as the CEO, the Chief Entertainment Officer, and she literally controls 85% of the spending, and the alcohol retail marketplace, because of the era that it was built in, was really not built to serve her in a proper format, right? Which is what she wants is the ability to have it from her phone to her front door, her remote control to life, and it's got to make her look cool on Instagram. Again, not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is where the consumer is today. So does any of it matter? Forbes, $45 billion, right? We hope that the hour that you're going to spend with us is worthwhile because it's going to go from 1 billion in 2019 to 45 billion. It's a huge amount of money, right? And the thing that, from our perspective, that I would like to make sure, if you take nothing away from it other than this is a whole channel, right? It's not just Instacart, it's not just Drizzly, it's not just Sourced, right? It's an entire channel. And just like you would think of a channel in on-premise, you wouldn't build a brand or a marketing strategy or packaging just to do Applebee's or just to do Fleming's or just to do fill in the blank, right? Build for the entirety of the channel, and it's $45 billion of a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Right? One other piece to think about when you're thinking about demographics, right? There are two different shopping occasions, right? The older demographic is okay with it being convenient, but taking a little bit longer. The younger demographic is not willing to wait at all, right? They want it, and they want it now, and if it doesn't exist on Uber Eats, you don't exist in their world, full stop. Right? So think about, as you're thinking about how to market in between generations, think about what is the use case that they're solving for. Right? Here's a huge part, and some of my colleagues in the space are going to talk a lot more about the data opportunity, but with e-commerce, your ability to get the consumer's data is really, really important to your marketing campaign. Right? For those of you, how many people run Facebook ad campaigns today? Okay. How many people have watched that deteriorate in the last 6 months in your CAC? Oh, brutal, right? And what you need going forward is the first-party data, right? Sally Smith, 123 Main Street, likes tequila, orders every Thursday, and you need to know to feed it into the Facebook algorithm, right? The second piece is that Google's just about to do it to all of us. They've already announced the cookie is dead. They were just a little more polite in that they gave us a little longer lead time to get our shit together, right? So you need to capture your customers' data because it's going to make those two algorithms work better. And here's the final piece, which I refer to as the arms race. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, Postmates, they're algorithms. They're not delivery platforms. They are the search engine for us in the food and beverage industry for the next 10 years, right? Who knows, can anybody give me what ODR stands for? Okay, it stands for order defective rate. It's the second most important thing in their algorithm. Can anybody tell me how much does the Uber Eats algorithm care about your keywords, the copy on your website? Just give me a guess. Somebody's give me really, really high, not at all. Anybody want to guess? 0. They care 0, which is mind-blowing, right? We've all spent the last 15 years thinking about keywords as it relates to SEO. Being in this space is going to be crucially important because the Gen Z is going to experience food and beverage inside of these platforms, and you have to understand how the algorithm works to get ranking. Just in the way that this would have sounded crazy to say 25 years ago if you were thinking about Google and had not watched what Google did for our businesses, right? The transition era is here. It's not coming, it's already arrived. And it's arrived through third-party providers, right? The Drizzlies of the world. It's arrived through on-premise being able to do to-go cocktails. And the big one, right, February of this year, right, the TTB actually came out and said, we think that you, the states, should allow direct-to-consumer shipping. And the first state that said, damn straight I'm going to do it, was Kentucky, right? So think about the wine direct shipping business. Is $4.4 billion. Did the three-tiered system cease to exist? No, it still exists just fine. That is what I think you're going to see in the future. And what we would suggest, again, is don't think about it as just one player, right? Non-premise, right? E-commerce, $45 billion in the next 3 years is an entire channel. Just like off-premise, just like on-premise, right? Each of these brands serves a slightly different use case, and your entire marketing campaign should be based around serving the channel taking the data that this channel allows you to have and informing the other two parts of your business. Because in no way, remember, the U.S. alcohol industry this year will be $254 billion. There's still a huge amount of money in on and off premise, thank God, right? We're not trying to replace the bar, right? We're trying to make the bar a better experience for the consumer and the brand because they know what she drinks when she goes to the bar, right? And that's how to use the data to your advantage in this category.